Hello and welcome to Live at 5.
Come on.
And we love the fact we can be together. We were off last night, Gabriel. We've
Didn't know what
changed
to
the
do with
rhythm
myself.
to
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday and Friday. What did you get up to at 5 o'clock last
I
night?
can't even really remember. It was kids. I think that was the rhythm of the
Yep.
afternoon. But loved it. But it's really good to be back together. Nice to be. It seems like an age ago since we were with
Yep.
our loyal viewers.
Our
So
loyal viewers.
whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, hello to you, and hope you've had a wonderful day. Mark, we've got a fantastic evening lined up for us
We
tonight.
do. But let me just comment that hair's getting long on top there.
It's
What are we
getting
going to
long
do?
and fluffy. Mark has cut the sides, but he did not touch the top.
Well, we're going to have to fix that. But enough about that. We have an amazing guest with
Come
us,
on.
and it's part of a much bigger story called the West Coast COVID Fund and all that
Yeah.
God is doing through the generosity of amazing people across the West Coast. But I get to welcome the chairman of our ward councillors of our area, the amazing Mrs. Nora Jones. No, Nora Grose.
I think Nora Grose, Nora Jones is someone different.
Our ratings just went through the
There we
roof.
go.
But, can you sing for us, Nora, please? Just.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for a new surname. I just need to meet the man still. But what an honor and privilege to be on air with you again.
Yeah.
A lot of things has happened.
Yes.
The enthusiasm hasn't left us. It's
No.
growing by the day. And Mark, what can I say? Intervention from above the day that you stepped into our lives.
Oh,
and
stop it.
And the group. So, yeah.
No,
We are very on it.
there's a great God story unfolding, and God
Yeah.
has been very, very kind. But it's a great privilege to have you. Nora is the first ward councillor I've got to know, and politics has always been something different to me. Tell us a little bit, Nora. You are someone who's been in politics for a while, and from the very first day I met you, I didn't get the feeling of what I perceived politics. I got the feeling of someone who loves people and someone who's always been a giver. Actually, you said that to me on the very first day that we met, and something resounded in me when you said that. Who is Nora Grose, and how did you get into politics and serving people in this way?
Mark, the story on how I got into politics goes back many, many years. And I think you were still a lighty at school when that happened. But quite frankly, I was never in the forefront. But all my adult life, I've been a giver. I've been somebody for the community. If my children today, if you have a chat with them, they will tell you stories where mom would stop, load these 3 children in the car, go wash them, and take them home, feed them. In fact, in the 80s, I started the very first street people's or street children's project in Helderberg with the then mayor at the time. So my heart and soul has always been for my community.
Amazing.
Politics just shaped me, and that's just a different platform how to just live your life. But you know what? I firmly believe, Mark, that you cannot do this kind of work if you're not called to do it.
Yeah.
To be a politician is one thing.
Yeah.
But to be raised and to be called to be a giver, to the people, it's a total different scenario. And if that is not inherent to you as your calling, you would give up.
Yeah.
Politics is a messy game. It is a rewarding game because you can see how you change lives, how you get a lot of flack from community members, but then again, there's a lot of them that you do make a difference in their lives. And so politics can never redefine me. I was raised for a purpose and I raised for a reason, and that is to serve humans.
Jeez, there's a preacher right there. What do you say, Gabriel?
I love it, Nora.
There's a preacher right there. I tell you what, we'll find it.
You're an inspiring lady, and I think it's a privilege to be able to support you and the other ward councillors that we get to partner with at this time. But just maybe can you give us some perspective before we dive into the crisis at hand? How do you navigate your own heart emotions? As you just mentioned, there's the good days and there's the bad days. There's some praise and some congratulations, but there's a whole lot of criticism as well. Leading the charge, how do you keep your own emotions in check on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. The first thing the speaker of the city of Cape Town, when I first got attacked by the public in Tableview, he called me and he says, listen, if you want to be a politician, you got to grow thick skin. And I thought, okay, that's easy for you to say that. And he drew an analogy and he said to me, you know, when Helen Ziller became the leader of the party and the mayor and everything else, all the accusations and all the criticism, did she go cry, sit in a corner and cry? She grew a thick skin. You
Yeah.
know, she stood up for what she firmly believed in. You either believe in something or you fall for anything and everything.
Beautiful.
So, you know, there are those that will disappoint you, but every day, there's a bus leaving, and it's for you to decide, are you going to give in to criticism, or
Yeah.
are you going to focus on your calling in life?
Wow.
If you don't have that purpose in your life, jump off. Then
Brilliant.
it's not for you. So, you know, during even this time, before COVID, I really thought I worked hard. And I've got the numbers, I've got the hours, because we've got to put in the reports. It's a 24/7. Today, I don't have my children at home. I don't have my grandchildren at home. I divorced because I'm married to my job. So my drive inside has been inherent all the time that I can remember.
Wow.
I hate losing. I do hate losing because I do believe you can make a difference. But it comes at a cost and a price. I've seen nothing like I've been working in the time as just the counselor and serving your community until COVID arrived.
Yeah.
Some days when we're busy packing and distributing,
Yeah.
your body tells you no more, I can't. You go home at night, you drop down on the bed, you've got the phone in the hand, you fall asleep with it. But you know what? Tomorrow morning you have new strength. Where does it come from? I don't know, but I've got to keep going, feed until the last one is fed, till the money runs dry. But there will always be strength for the next day.
Yeah.
And
So
I
amazing.
revel in that.
Well, I want to give a shout out to our ward councillors. I've had the privilege of working a little bit with Nikki Reeder, who's also pioneering, working with the Lions, and they're doing amazing work in the area as well. And we're partnering a bit as well. Joyce Solomon in the area as well. But I've been exposed to these people behind the scenes who get a hard rap, and no less on this very platform of social media. But I want to tell you, I've encountered an incredible group of people who love people, who are prepared to get their hands stuck in and into the problems and the challenges. They'll be delivering food. I remember Nikki popping around to my house one night on a Sunday night to get food packs to deliver to a family that were hungry. And I'm going, I've encountered some phenomenal people who get a tough rap. And I want to call on us at this time to celebrate those. I know we're celebrating doctors, but actually our nation, our politicians and our leaders at this time are working incredibly, incredibly hard. And I've had the privilege of seeing firsthand that we're hard. And I want to also give a shout. I see you wearing one of our Here to Help shirts that normally get worked on a Sunday to volunteers, but they've been used by people who have been packing furiously in different rooms around this church. Our church basically turned into the storage distribution center of a cash and carry. We have about 18 tons of food that has come through this building and been dispatched from this building to the poor. And but tell us a little bit about your experience working with this team, Nora. You've been hands in. I've come here at times and I've been concerned about you stuck in, working hard, sweating it out with everyone else. And next minute you're in communities like Atlantis, serving the community. But tell us a little bit about your experience in these last weeks, which I know I've seen it in your eyes and I've seen it sometimes in the tears, has been overwhelming. And just to give people a little bit of context for the fund, to this date, in the last kind of 4 weeks, we've raised over 300,000 Rand, 304,000 Rand has been given by individuals. These are not organizations. These are individuals who have given. We've spent 234,000 Rand, and there's more to be spent. That a tonnage of food, over 17 tons of bulk meal that have been broken down into smaller meals and packs and distributed. And those meals translate to about 57,000 meals. And each of those meals at the minimum feed about 4 people, which translates to about 228,000. At a max, will feed about 6 people. So that translates to about 340,000 people fed through the generosity of the West Coast community, the generosity of people, and the very hard work of volunteers who've got stuck in and used. When everyone else was chilling on lockdown, reading books, these amazing people were packing, sweating. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know it brings tears to your eyes and a big smile to your face, even though you keep disappearing from us there. We see you again. But tell us a little bit about those numbers, what they do to your soul.
Mark, I get so excited. You know, you can't put me in a chair like this. And that's why I keep on kicking this stand before me. But, you know, think about this. The 31st of March, when we launched this, and you made available your church and the facility to us, there's actually a lesson to learn out of that. This is indeed spiritually the storehouse of God.
Wow.
And here we use these very premises, your staff, the ladies from the church, the men from the church, all ages, and here the food got multiplied. The money came in and God's just blessing it.
Wow.
I'm not a very religious person, but I've got principles, religious principles. But this, I couldn't have asked for a better storehouse than right here in the Life Challenges church ground. So to all the ladies, I see them bending their backs, picking up heavy, bags and stuff. I've never walked in here in the morning and saw a long or a sour face.
Amazing.
Now, to work with that, how can we not say thank you to all those? It's not just us, it's the team working. And this whole, I think you also recorded a video when you came in here once, and it was a production line.
Yeah.
This one packing, that one measuring, this one, and always with a smile on their faces. And that's why when I deliver these parcels, I say to the people, this parcel of food was packed with love, number one.
Brilliant.
So, we can't stop now, Mark. The race is on. We're very impressed with these numbers. I broke down in tears when I got the stats this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
But you know what? Nobody who's ever been hungry and faced a household or a family, young, old, any color, when you look in the eye and you give them something to eat, unless you've been there, you have no understanding what it means to receive a meal. And until we reach that last one, we'll work and work and work. And we'll pray for funds to come in. It's only when you've been hungry in your life that you know what it means to get a meal.
Yeah.
We go from area to area. We have the very elite in West Beach. We have the elite in Malco-Strand. We have in Danafontein. We have in camps. I've traveled hundreds of kilometers, 15 kilometers this side of Malmesbury, the biggest farming community, to stand in that land with a farmer of a huge farmer, good production. And when he looks you in the eye and he says to you, I have no more crops on my land. How can I feed my people? And the next day you drive there with 1.5 tons of food to feed the people. Mark, that will change anyone's life. If you want a good experience in giving, come on the truck with us. Let us reach out and you come and witness. It's life-changing moments and experiences. And how can we not but to reach out to those? We cannot feed a nation. We cannot feed a nation. But we can the least we can do is be an instrument.
Yeah.
Be an instrument, and we can be available, distribute, and hand out as far as we can.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Nora.
And I think, you're going to get me crying, yes. You've got to stop it. But it's, we can't cover every base. And I know that even out there, some people, I've sent messages and that we're doing everything we can. And I know we're not doing that alone. I know that the many ward councillors in the city are running, and there's different NPOs and NGOs doing incredible work. And please get behind them. Please sow. Please give money. And I want to say thank you. People have given, whether it's 50 Rand or 100 Rand, every single cent has gone to feeding. Every single cent. The packing have not been paid personnel. They have been either donated skills. We've donated some staff, and it's been the volunteers of just everyday people some of them have just lost their jobs. Some of them who themselves not sure where the meal will come at the end of the month, but got stuck in to serve. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And what a privilege it is to partner in this great need at this great time. This is unprecedented times. Nora, I love the story of the farmers. I know there's an initiative with the farmers to grow crops that we'll see in 6 to 8 weeks' time. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think it's spectacular.
Mark, I'm more excited about that. I tell you what, we're all humans. We go to the ground. We come from there. We raise, But I was very fortunate when I started meeting with the farmers in the Dussenberg, Atlantis, outskirts of that. I saw all this land driving through there, you know, some of the land underutilized. And then I met a farmer where we delivered food. And I said, listen, man, what are you doing with all this vacant produced land? And they said, well, you know, they're only in that kind of farming and they don't really utilize all the land. Well, eventually we established a group of farmers, about 18 of them. Yeah. And we decided, can't we buy the seed or seedlings, chemicals and everything else? I will give you food. Give me a hectare of your land. Let us start planting. Let us start planting vegetables that we can, also enhance our dry ingredients with. Wow. And that is where the seed actually came to maturity, where all these farmers, we started talking to each other. And then one of the biggest farmers there, we went there on last Saturday and he took us out into his fields. And you just see crops and crops and crops of, cabbage and... Come on. Also, man, I can't even remember, carrots, everything you need right for the season. And he turned to us and he said, okay, I will teach you what to do. I'll teach you what to plant. I'll teach you how to prepare the ground so the seed that you put in there is not wasted. Every seedling you lose due to whatever factor is 15 Rand down your pocket. So we will teach you, we will help you. And from there, we walked away and we said, right, we're ready. Yeah. So we're now calling on farmers and support around the world that supports the farmers. Let us put the seeds in the ground.
Come on.
Sustainable neighboring farms where we can produce fresh vegetables that can enhance, put food on the table. Yeah. All these farmers are willing to work as laborers on their farms so that we can start producing crops within 90 to 100 days and other cultivars even as early as 70 days. Jeez. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine you don't have the money to buy food, Mark, but there's a truck coming from the farmer to say, Come on. Happy days and here again.
I love that.
Yes, you fresh vegetables.
If you are just joining us, this is Nora Grose, who's a visionary, a pioneer, but one of many amazing ward councillors and people who are seeing beyond themselves at this time. Yeah. I think this is what the beauty of this time is. Yes, it is tough, it is hard, and we know that there's a long journey ahead for us, but it's really exciting to see how God is uniting hearts for a different future. And we just want to say well done for that. Yep. And maybe on that note, how can people still participate in this? Nora, the broader public, obviously there's a COVID relief fund and we're going to keep on pointing people to give financially. Yeah. But what are some of the other ways people can contribute to this time? I know I would encourage, if you are watching this, why don't you give a shout out in the comments? Why don't you say well done to these amazing ward councillors and their teams? I think it's a great thing to support them. And but maybe share it. And share this video. I think it's really inspiring to see what work is going on behind the scenes. But besides that, Nora, are there other things that you would love to call on from the general public?
All we can say, and we can really humbly ask, it's no use you give to us a couple of blankets or a couple of tins of food. The distribution collection is costing us far more. What we ask is if you have 50 Rand, please put it in the COVID fund. Every 50 Rand can provide another meal for a family. If you're even in need of, if there's anyone in our immediate area, from Tableview right here to Ward 23, Melkos, Dainfontein, in the surrounding areas, if you need food, please give us a call. Put your name down. We'll try and feed you. But for those that can give, a 50 Rand into the COVID fund. Yeah, we want to be responsible, transparent. Wonderful. Yeah. Whatever we spend, we need to give an account and show you where the food is going. Yeah, well, let me take those numbers one more time and give you some insight. Something of just over 305,000 have been given, about 11.5 tons of food, which translates to anywhere... No. 17.5 tons of food.
And it's amazing, and it translates to anywhere, depending on how people make the meals and distribute it, somewhere between 228,000 people fed up to about 340,000, because the meals could be either for 4 to 6 people. But that's just an astounding number. Nora, it started with a phone call and a conversation, and God's been incredibly kind.
Yeah.
But there's a lot ahead, and I think part of what people are realizing, I don't know, I'm in suburbia, I'm doing life in suburbia, and many people are saying 3 weeks, okay, 5 weeks, but longer. And I think the reality is we're in for a longer journey. And how are you preparing yourself and the area that you oversee for this longer journey? And what would you call of the communities that you oversee and lead at this time to prepare for the future that looks tough?
Mark, it's sad. It's sad. Remember now, it was just, the energy was there. It was a new thing.
Yeah.
The reality is kicking in. This is going to be 6 months, 9 months. How are we going to remain sustainable? How can we keep on feeding people? We have to get interventions from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
The people are willing. The people are willing to give, but they need to get the message. It need to fall on the right ears. In government right now, we know for a fact government does not have the ability. We're going to have to start looking after each other. Your neighbor, do you know your neighbor? Do you know your neighbor don't have food on the table?
Yeah.
We must stop looking at ourselves and the volumes we can consume. We need to start reaching out to those right there in our own communities, but spread the message.
Yeah.
Because people are willing to give. They just don't know who to trust and who to give for. I want to do a special plea. If there's anybody that gets this message or get this video internationally, if you can help us with seeds,
come on.
We don't want handouts.
Wonderful.
We want to get our hands dirty in the ground, in the grid. We want to plant seeds. We want to see the fruit of our hands that can come to maturity, and we can become self-sustainable, not always calling for funds to do that.
Beautiful. Just a shout out, we have pinned the WC COVID Relief Fund website at the bottom of the comments section. So if you want to jump on and donate, why don't you do it right now? Or as Mark has mentioned, I think this is a great opportunity. Why don't you share this post? This is not, as Nora said, we're not begging. This is us with the eyes of vision, saying how do we feed and support people and rise up at this time. And we believe that actually maybe you're connected in a way that we're not. And you could get the word out to somebody who has finance or has seed or has opportunity. So why don't we partner in these moments together?
And I know people ask questions like, where does the money go? And those are good questions at this time. We want to tell you and promise you that every single cent goes to the purchasing of food. The facilities that have been made available, the volunteers that have come on board, none of that is being paid for out of the funds that you give. Every single cent is going towards. I want to thank the Solutions Company for making their trucks available to distribute the tons of food and the wear and tear on that. Huge shout out to Brett Anderson and the Solutions Company and the many who are jumping on board to volunteer. We had the Bloberg Rotary donate so generously. We've had Trafalgar give money. We've had other institutions and businesses give. And what a privilege it is to partner at this time, even if it's the little. I want to tell you, even if it's, you can say, I can give 20 Rand. Let's give 20 Rand. Every single cent will go to feeding and putting food. 20 Rand will equate to just over 4 of those meals that we can distribute as they've been purchased. And guys have given us preferential rates, and we've been able to facilitate that. What an absolute blessing. And jump and be a part of that. As honestly, I would say God is on the move, but his people are on the move, and people are receiving love and grace at a time of dire, dire need. I want to tell you, as someone who's in the world of people right now, and Nora will know it better, and maybe those are some stories you can tell us, Nora, but right now, whether you're in the areas of most distress in our city or in the suburbs of the city, people are getting hungry and going hungry, and we need to see it, and we need to respond at this time.
And maybe, Nora, just to land this, why don't you tell us, for us, we don't do it just for numbers or stats, we do it for people. And maybe you can land with a story or two of when you've delivered food, or you mentioned earlier about some of the farmers, but maybe some of the personal stories that you've seen that have brought, wow, this is why I do it.
Mark and Gabe, I tell you what, the very first parcel I delivered was at a house in Melkstrand. The poor lady, the mother was pretty old, and the daughter and the son was there. And I tell you, when I handed that parcel, that was one of our very first parcels we delivered. And that old lady just broke down crying. You know, it could have been my mother. it could have been my family, but just how their lives or their faces change. Then you go to somebody that is maybe old and alone in one house or in a windy house, and you walk with that parcel of food and they look, excuse me, who are you looking for? And when you say this is yours, your name is on the list, I'm just delivering here. It's like, where are you coming from? And you see the appreciation in their eyes.
Amazing.
Like I said, Mark, if anybody wants a blessing in life and they think their life is without purpose, come with us on the road and see what we experience day after day. Sometimes it is heartbreaking. Even Councillor Joy McCarthy, when she delivered a parcel at a lady in her house, she said that old girl just about burst out crying. Wow. She was not embarrassed to receive food. She was at her wit's end. There was nothing anymore in the house. That is the kind of stories that you deal with daily. But then, on the other hand, there's those that criticize, But you will always have them with you. But I want to point out something, Mark. You referred to 20 Rand. Let me tell you what 20 Rand will do. Every 20 Rand, one meal, the way that we're giving out the menus now, the meals, cost us 4 Rand 11 cent to pack.
Wow.
You can feed how many people? 4 with the 20 Rand.
Amazing.
That's
amazing.
That is how precisely, if you can just contribute 20, you are effectively feeding 4 people from 20 Rand.
And the reason that is because we're able to buy on bulk. We're able to get preferential deals from amazing specials. We are able to partner with some stores in Malmesbury and all over. We're going all over to fetch what we can at the greatest rates and buy in tonnage. And people are pulling in with tons. I came in here one day. I'm used to a church with coffee stations and all. I got in here, it was just tons of food, and it was a beautiful, beautiful sight. But I know I saw it in your eyes when you saw those numbers for the first time. I walk into the room, and it's overwhelming to you, and I trust it's overwhelming to people because the need is overwhelming at this time. But I love, one of the greatest scriptures that I love says this in the Bible, and I'm a preacher, so I'm going to bring a scripture. It says this: the world of the generous gets bigger and bigger, and the world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. And that is the truth.
Brilliant.
And at this time, if we will pick up the world of the generous, we pick up the response to be generous. And it's generous in our need, generous in our little, generous in all that we can and can't do at this time. I promise you, we will see miracles and our worlds will get bigger. I'm not saying that the trials aren't there and they will disappear. I'm not saying the storm will go away overnight. But our worlds will get bigger. And I know my world's got bigger just by one phone call to a ward councillor in our area who isn't even our direct ward councillor. And then that relationship got me to meet ward councillor Nikki Reeder and ward councillor Joyce Solomon. Amazing ladies in our area doing incredible things for the people of the west coast of Cape Town. What an absolute privilege.
Yeah, we thank you, Nora. Amazing. And we're so proud to be linked with you. If you want to give, again, it's pinned at the bottom, wccovidrelieffund.co.za. As little as 20 Rand feeds 4 people. It's amazing what we can do. But just one last thing before you go. You mentioned that you have to have thick skin. Just to let you know, Mark, thick skin doesn't mean like extra weight. Just want to bring some clarity to that.
Okay, thank you, Gabriel.
I know some people
did you put your sunscreen? Because I know you came out today, and you redheads, we got to look after.
Got to be careful of the redheads. But Nora, without digressing too far, we thank you hugely, and we're really grateful for your work, and we are excited to partner with you and see amazing things happen.
I want to give one more point out. Thank you to Nora Grose, Councillor Nikki Reeder, Councillor Joyce Solomon. Check out the West Coast COVID Relief Fund. Please give. There's a Facebook page. There's a website. It's very easy. It's all controlled and accounted for. Every single cent goes to those who are most vulnerable at this time. And that's what we want to partner in. That's what we're about. This is not the initiative of a church. I want to tell you, this is the initiative of a whole bunch of people. We just happen to be facilitating and part of the distribution. And jump in, be a part of it. Let's be part of the solution.
I love it.
So many criticizing all that's going on. So many have opinions of what the best strategy is for. And to be honest, I have very few opinions of what my president should do because I do not have the facts that he does. But I promise you, I know I'm called to be generous at this time. So thank you so much, Nora, for beaming in with us. Thank you to all that have got involved and all who will jump into the West Coast COVID Fund, and let's be givers.
We'll see you on Friday for more Live at 5.
Yes.
We've got Michael Mole, who's coming on of Top Billing fame. So we're really excited for that. But we love you lots.
Yes.
And God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.